Hey, 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 everyone. Happy Saturday. This is a rare bonus. You found the wild woman on a Saturday. This is exciting. We kept blowing up the audio yesterday on the Q&A. So we're going to do it live right now because I only gave you guys 10 minutes of my time. And while we got a lot done, I want to give you even more. So today you can come on and ask questions. I'm also on my phone, so if you're watching on your phone and you want to come on live and ask questions, you totally can. Instagram doesn't get me today. This is just for you guys, just for Facebook to be really focused on your questions. And I will start with one that I got from Stacy. And as questions come in, please ask them. I want to check in too. I see some people watching. Hey Maria, hey Sabina, hey Stefan. I want to check in with you guys. How's your love life? How's your sex life? How's your money flow? How's your edgy, beautiful ease? And how are you making love to life today? I'm curious about all of that sweetness, all of that deliciousness. I slept in and I had lots of orgasms, so I'm in a delicious mood. I'm really excited to serve today, be with you all today. Okay, I'm going to start with answering. It's so hot. I feel like I'm in Costa Rica, which is pretty amazing. Ooh, okay, Stacy, question. Her question is, or more of a statement. She said, I'm reading it down here, so give me a second. She said, I would love to hear about shifting my vibration so the energy felt with my favorite man can bring us together more often and open more verbal communication. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say, Stacy, is that you have a desire to be with your partner more often and also open more verbal communication, right? Awesome, beautiful, great ownership of that. Where I would play is with the awareness and the knowledge that every relationship, right? Every relationship can shift dramatically when one person goes in 100% with what they desire. So I would play in the arena of my desire, 100% owning them and 100% showing up available to that. And then my partner gets to play wherever they're playing, right? So complete detachment and unattachment from the desire itself. Desire is a tricky thing. I'm just going to go on a little bit of a rant around desire because it's big in this conscious community. It's big in the Mama Gina community, in the Sister Goddess community, of like owning and claiming your desires. The very nature of a desire means that we do not already have it, right? If there's a wanting, if there's a desire, it means that we don't have it. It's a thing that we need to get. It's a seeking mechanism. And I actually love experiencing the shift in my body where desires become constant creation. So that rather than wanting this thing, wanting more communication, wanting more connection, we can instead come to a place of, in a self-pleasure practice, thinking not so much of what I desire, but but embodying this having, this knowing, this place of us that's already full, that already has everything that we need. And so in that, there's a way in which we no longer have to search or seek. So my reframe on this, what I would play with, if this was something that I'm putting myself in your shoes here, Stacy, if I was in a position where I wanted more connection with my partner and I wanted more verbal communication with my partner and I wanted it, it's the same with money. This is the same with business flow. This is the same with anything in your life. Rather than wanting it, right? Well, I wouldn't say rather. I would notice that there's a part of me that wants it and I would love and honor and accept that part. And then the part of me that knows that I get to create in any moment of every instant of every day through my own magic, can simply say, I got this. I'm going to create a reality in which that is already happening. So in your self-pleasure practice, Stacy, and I know you did the self-pleasure challenge with us, so I know you're on point with this. In your self-pleasure practice, I want you to fall into a place where you already have this. Create the reality. Be in the orgasmic energy, and then create the reality where you are already in that connection. And then detach from the person. Right? I know you said my favorite man, but all he is a mirror of you, and it has nothing to do with this person. Detach from him, because what may happen is that in creating this deep connection and this verbal communication, you may find that you're doing it with others and not particularly this person, right? So we can change the reality, but we can't necessarily shift other people, right? Though we can change our reality. So I want you to play with this feeling in your body of wholeness, of already having everything that you desire. And it's done through that, bringing that orgasmic energy. Wanting gets to disappear and fade away. Desire actually becomes creation rather than a thing that I need to go get, right? Goals become silly. So that when you want, like what happens in my life nowadays with a lot of my clients is we have this wanting, this inner desire, and then with it, there's like a 6 to 12 hour turnaround, and then it's created. Yesterday, I was feeling a desire to deeply connect with someone who's really in their masculine. Like I really, because as you guys can probably tell, I have a really strong masculine in my body. I also have a very strong feminine. I pull the masculine out in business, right? And when I'm leading. And I also pull the feminine out, but I'm about 50-50. But yesterday, I was like, I really want to drop into my feminine fully. Like I want to fully surrender, and I know how to do it. And I was like, I can totally do it with myself. It would be really cool. Like I got this desire to do this with a man. And I create that reality. So I'm in an orgasm and I'm creating that reality of that person appearing in my reality. And then yesterday, I through a series of following that, right, and trusting that inner intuition and that inner guidance, I wind up for 3 hours or so on a dance floor, fully surrendering to a man who's fully embodied his masculine energy, and it happened effortlessly, right? We exchanged numbers, boom, right? So this is how we get to create and compose our reality, and we do it with very little doubt because it's within our own body and in our own energy body. So we don't have to run around wondering if we're going to get the thing that we want. It's already here, and it's simply a matter of us recognizing our own magic, and that magic comes from within. So I hope that answered your question, Stacy. I went on a bit of a runaround, but to sum it up, right? Shift the desire from a place of desire to a place of creation, right? Instead of I desire more connection and more verbal communication, move to a place of I am creating, right? Or I've already created it. It's already here. I see this a lot with the spiritual crew. And I can get stuck here too. There's parts of me that get stuck here where I feel like I need to heal or be different, right? I need to be more this or heal more this or find that thing and father mother wounds and right? Like I play there. And in recognizing that like all I need to do is create that reality. I am that. You are already that. You already have that. It's not outside of you. So we're not chasing this better version of ourselves or this better version of our relationship that we think we need in order to be settled and satisfied. It's already inside of us. And in that, the universe will move around you to create that reality. Right? It happens time and time again, and it's pretty fucking awesome. So little life hack for you, Stacy. I hope that was helpful. Please comment with what is resonating, what is sitting with you. Anyone else who's on live, what is resonating, what is sitting with you, let me know. And I'm here for other questions, other things popping up. I'm just going to hang. I love waiting because I get to hang in pleasure. Stacy says, love it and hear you fully. This man seems to have a different effect on me. Probably the attachment. Yeah, or he's just like a beautiful mirror. It's a game. It's play, right? When there's someone who has a profound effect on you, that just means that they're mirroring really beautifully a part of you that wants to be seen. It could be your divinity. And we get attached to that, right? But if someone shows up in our lives that is so clean and clear, and they mirror that, our reflection of our divinity so beautifully, that immediately we want to grab onto them, don't we? Right? Because we want to keep feeling our divinity. And here's, Stacy, where self-pleasure comes in. Because if we can recognize that they are simply a mirror, actually they're us, we're all one, right? If we can really recognize and hold that, and recognize that we can mirror ourselves, we can give ourselves that divinity on a daily basis. We can reconnect to the truth, through the true channel of who we are every day, right? Then we don't have to go and find that mirror in other people. And in that, our discernment gets really easy, because we get to be like, oh, well, I already am that. So like, and you are that. And so do I want to play here or do I not want to play here? And you're saying his sexuality. Yeah. So like, great. He's mirroring your sexual expansion, right? He's showing you your own creative force, your own life force. But he's simply showing you that. He is not giving you that. You have that inside of you. Yeah. And so we don't have to attach. Right? How deeply can you love? How deeply can you let yourself drop in with a partner in this moment and be completely unattached to the outcome and to the storyline? That's the game. It's a fun game, right? Sabina says, this knowing is landing deeper and deeper. All answers are already deep within. Yeah, because like, we don't even like... Yeah, because the answer to everything is just connecting back to life, to source, connecting back to truth. And it's one truth. It's not your truth, my truth, because we're all one being. So it's just truth. Like, connecting back to that life force means that any struggle, any opposition, any piece of us that feels funky, we get to just love and accept it, coming from this beautiful, nurturing place of true being, right? Dina, love your divine messages. Thank you, babe. Yours as well, because I'm a mirror, right? So all of you coming on right now, you're helping me channel this. This is not Genevieve. Genevieve's not here, right? This is like we're co-creating right now. Sandra, beautiful question. Can you connect to more than one person? Sandra, I want you to fall in love with everyone. And this is not to say that everyone needs to be poly or open. I think there's a beauty in monogamy and in true, like one partner. Like, it's gorgeous. But Sandra, I want you to fall in love with the tree as much as you fall in love with that boyfriend, and as much as you fall in love with the man on the dance floor, and as much as you fall in love with your child. Or like, love does not get to be, at its core level, at its truth, love does not get to be this thing that we specialize, right? Why are we specializing it? Why are we saying, I love you more than everyone else? What is that saying? What if our nervous system can expand so much that we can recognize that everyone is deserving of that deep level of love that we may give a significant other? What if our nervous system wants to give that to everyone? Right? Yeah, Sandra, I'm experiencing a shift in what love means to me. Love is. Love is. There's nothing to do. There's no falling in love because love is. Right? Like, there's no process of falling in love. It just already is. You are love. I am love. We collectively are love. And so the reason that I work and I coach on sex, right, is because sex is often the thing that can be a barrier to love if it's funky. If our connection with ourself, with love, the love of our being is not, the energy does not flow. If we're muddled in shame and muddled in guilt, then we can't access the remembrance of self as love. Because we've got the monkey mind saying you're not good enough, saying this fantasy is not okay, saying your body is disgusting, saying whatever it says, right? So we work on sexuality so that sexuality dissolves and it becomes about love, right? And when we show up in truth, which is love, then everything in our life commingles to create that experience over and over again. So we get to love everything, and every area, every aspect of our life is love, right? Like life just flows in that, and the universe will then flow towards that. So if you're finding yourself bumping up against stuff, bumping up against, like, I know someone who will just like continually get into things like accidents or legal cases or funny, weird, crazy, chaotic relationships. What's happening is that person's nervous system is just not yet open to love, right? And how do we open the nervous system? Sexual touch, sensual touch, right? Deconditioning the body. We can talk about it all day long. But the truth is that our nervous system has been wired toward constriction, has been wired against true connection and love and divinity. And that is what we all desire because it's who we are. All we want is for us to, all we want is to remember ourselves, right? That's why we're here. Yeah. Okay, let me go. There's a question up here. Sabina says, love is, I so know this. And there is still that little girl in me who wants to be special and loved. Yeah, me too, babe. She comes up for me. There's a part of me, she lives right here. And I love her. She's about 6 years old, and I love her so much. She wants to know that she matters. So when she comes up and I notice her and she tries to attach to someone outside of myself, then I just ask her what she really wants. Because it's usually not that attachment. It's usually like recognition that she matters and recognition that she's important. And then once she recognizes that, she surrenders and realizes that she's not important and that she's not really there, right? She like falls back and lets go. So we have these parts in ourselves. I also have a part in myself that runs away from love, that gets scared when love is shown to me, right? She lives in my gut. I'm like, oh, can I receive all that? Ah! Right? And I get nervous. And so I just listen to her. What does she really want? She wants to know that it's okay to receive all this love. That she's not hurting someone by receiving. She's not too much, right? And so I just I play with these parts of myself daily. This is part of being human. It's so delicious. It's the delicious human game. And though we know that we are all love and we are all oneness, it's awesome that we get to play this game of forgetting and then remembering again, right? And the awareness of like, cool, I'm going to forget and then I remember and I'm just going to go back and forth is gorgeous. And when I struggle with remembering, that's why I have a coach, right? I've never not had a mentor. I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years of, I up level, well, that's not really a thing, but like my human version of Genevieve thinks she up levels, but really that's not really what happens. But the coach's job is to be a mirror and a reflection. So I'll email a coach with, this is all the forgetting that I'm doing, and they'll just remind me, right? Because sometimes for whatever reason, our human parts gets in the way. And before we reach true mastery, we can't do that on our own, right? And I think even if we're masters, the parts are still there. And so this is not about being perfect and always being able to take care of the parts of ourselves. This is about building a support system so that you can show up in love every day, so that you can truly go out and serve the world and be their mirror and their reflection. Sandra, is it normal to love multiple partners? I think it's normal to love. Yeah. Sexually, if that's what you're talking about, it depends on your nervous system, honestly. What is going to, if you're a shapeshifter, probably. If you are an energetic, maybe, but probably not. If you're sexual, probably. If you're a kinky, probably. It depends on how your nervous system is conditioned, right? Sensuals, probably not. Sensuals, maybe not, but like sensuals in general, like the story of the one person that they're, in love with. So it's really about what your nervous system needs. And that's why I lose the identification of poly, monogamy. I don't even ask that question to clients because it's not about the identification of that so much as it as like, what is my nervous system needing so that I can be love, so I can remember love and my oneness. And for some people it is multiple partners. For some people it's one. For some people it's celibacy. Like it's completely, it has entirely to do with what your nervous system is doing. And that will change and shift over your lifetime because as we decondition, right, other things will show up and then we play the dance and it's the game, right? And we just keep putting in the systems that we need to continually decondition, right? Tracy, listening to this while my husband is with his girlfriend, and I know that little girl who wants to be special for someone. Yeah, Tracy. Yeah, that's the dance, right? That discomfort is the dance of where is that little girl in your body? And what does she really need? Because she probably doesn't really need that someone. If you dig in really deep and you keep checking in, okay, I know you want that someone. What else do you need? Why is that important to you? What will that bring you? At her core, it's probably like a mattering or self-worth. And that's something that you can give yourself. Right? Because you already are that. And we just forget. And that's why open relating is really fun, because it's this game of having to remember that more. Right? It's like, oh, I got to remember this over and over again. Okay. Yeah. Mandy, I always want to be cuddled by another, and I don't feel cuddling myself will fill this desire. Any suggestions? Yeah, I get that. There's certain things with my nervous system that needs another person to do on me, or needs like a certain energy that's not my own energy. So just ask. Right? Set up the support system where you can have that. I would say definitely cuddle yourself too. Keep doing that, because you can titrate it so that you go and get cuddled by someone else, and then cuddle yourself, and then cuddle by another, and then cuddle yourself. And then eventually what you'll realize is there is no other and there is no self. And so when you do the cuddling, it's just cuddling. Right? Cuddle another, cuddle self, cuddle another, cuddle self, and then you'll recognize that, like when I make love to myself, it's as if someone is making love to me. It's as if the universe is making love to me. There's no one there. And so just start to titrate that so that, you go be with someone and then be with yourself and then be with someone, and then you'll recognize like, oh, there's not really any difference, right? You can also just do that hypothetically. Like you could be in your body and imagine yourself being cuddled by someone else. And then once you feel that fully, imagine yourself being cuddled by yourself. And then someone else, and then yourself, and then someone else, and then yourself, and then try to feel both at once and see what happens. And then do that a few times until you recognize that there's actually no difference. But your nervous system doesn't know that yet. So feed it until it recognizes that, right? Again, it's like the layers. Like this is a part of ourself that hasn't I don't want to say hasn't yet, but it's a part of ourself that's living in our humanity, right? And so that part of yourself that wants to be cuddled by another, like, let's not try to fix it or change it. Let's just give it that, and then also remind it of truth. Go back and forth, and eventually that need and that longing will go away. Stacy, there's a man I deeply and quickly connected with recently who could not handle me loving anyone else. I honor that, and we have released each other. Very wild process. Yeah, rock on. There it is, right? Like, cool. His nervous system's not there. Great. Love you, right? Like, you just love them where they are. That's gorgeous. Is there a test to see how your nervous system is wired? Yes, babe. I will put the link at the end of this broadcast for you. And comment with a screenshot of your results. I'm curious which one you have. Twin flame, I don't talk a lot about. I refer out to Nicole Peretti, a friend of mine. I'll tag her. Her and her wife, Dove, they're the owners of Twin Flame Revolution. They're awesome. And they're doing an event in August, online, free, all about twin flames. So get in with them. They're awesome. They're my people. It's definitely not my place. Tracy, I'm just getting back on comments. Yes, I know she needs me to really see her and me when I'm there. There's no needingness, and it comes and goes. I love how you explain that dance of forgetting and then feeling, knowing it again. Yeah, it's the human dance. You know, it's, if we didn't have it, we wouldn't be alive. Sandra, thank you. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll post the link for you. You can play with it. I want to go through what the different nervous system typings are really quickly, just so that when you take the quiz, you'll know it a little better and be able to understand it. Because I think this was the key for me in being able to decondition myself to show up fully and love fully and open myself up to the abundance in the world. I lived before this, guys, like in a lot of fear, in a lot of hesitation. I tiptoed around. When I was with partners, it was a lot of like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? In business, same thing. I was questioning a lot. I was trying to preemptively set up situations so that I could be safe, right? So I did that. I lived that, and I know it. And my life was a struggle basically all the time. My money was shit. My relationships were shit. Because I was in this constant trying to figure out how to win, right? Really what it was is my system was conditioned against openness. It was conditioned against connection. It was conditioned against love. It was conditioned against being free in my body. And so I needed to learn how my nervous system was conditioned so I could start to feed it so that it could relax. So there are 5 erotic blueprints. These are the different nervous system conditionings. And these are awesome. They're created by my colleague Jaya, who is a badass. You should follow her stuff. She's incredible. She would say that she is no one and nothing, because that is true, as we all are. But I want you to follow her anyway. So they are the energetic blueprint. This is well, they're not in any order. But the energetic blueprint. The energetic blueprint, in order to fully relax, needs stillness, anticipation, eye gazing, deep connection, and light touch. Energetic is my current favorite one that I play in right now. It's where my nervous system needs the most feeding. I love it. And each erotic blueprint has a shadow, which means that when the nervous system is still constricted, we'll go into shadow. The shadow, which basically means you want to go and feed yourself, right? The shadow of the energetic is feeling overwhelmed and dissociating out of the body. If I start to feel overwhelmed or I start dissociating out of my body, I know that I need stillness, eye contact, connection, light touch, anticipation. Energetics, your nervous systems are awesome because you can have full body Kundalini orgasms. You can fuck the universe, right? Like, you don't need to be touched to have them. This is my experience. So they're fabulous. Energetics, you rock, okay? And then there's the Centrioles. The Centrioles are amazing because they are really attuned to the 5 senses. Their nervous systems are aware of how things taste, smell, touch, feel, and sound all the time. And so in that, what they need to relax is for those 5 senses to be really chill. They also need like grounded touch, contour touch, skin to skin, and they need some romance in there. They like the story of loving, the human story of loving. And if you're sensual, let yourself go there. I have some sensual in my blueprinting, and sometimes I just am like, let's have fun with this. Let's pretend that we're getting married tomorrow, and he's my king and I'm your queen. Like, let's go there, because that's a part of the nervous system. It relaxes it. The shadow of the sensual is getting stuck in the head, right? Is he my king? Is this okay? Is that sock over there on the floor? Did I clean that sock? Is that a dirty sock? Oh my God, I need to go grocery shopping. Right? So that's the sensual shadow. If any of these are resonating with you, let me know, because I always like to see who I usually attract kinky energetics. So I'm curious who I have. Okay, and then there is the kinkies. Kinkies, this was my first nervous system wiring. And this was a real key for me, because I was trying to pleasure myself in the sensual, that slow contoured touch, and it was not working. Kinkies need intensity. They need scratches, they need smacks, they need power play, they need power dynamics, they need an edge of taboo and naughtiness. That helps relax their nervous system, right? They're like the action movies of the blueprints, or the suspense movies. They need that kind of edginess. And there's nothing wrong with that. The shadow of a kinky is being hidden in shame. Right? Because of that intensity, they think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just enjoy flowers in a bath? Right? Because your nervous system is conditioned in a different way. And there is nothing wrong with it. When we want to celebrate your intensity is freaking awesome. Right? We want to celebrate that fully. And then there's sexuals. Sexuals are, their nervous system actually relaxes through penetration and orgasm. So for a sexual, it's like, give them sex as you would give them breakfast and food. Right? And there's some shame around a lot of sexuals, especially, I know for me, there was a lot of shame around how sexual I was when I first started this, because I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I just kind of just want to have sex sometimes. Is that okay? Like, and then you've got all these words of what you think that is, right? A slut or a jerk if you're a man, or an asshole. Like, you've got the storyline. So for sexuals, like, celebrate it. Celebrate that you love being naked. Celebrate that you love talking about sex. Just be in that. And the shadow of the sexual is that they are going to go, sometimes they'll get stuck in wanting to reach the end goal. This is going to be in life and in the bedroom. They're very focused on, but what's the result? And they miss the beautiful, delicious journey, which is why sexuals will often pair up with sensuals or energetics, and then they call me because they can't figure it out. Because the energetic is like wanting to take her time and move slowly, and the sexual is like, let's go to the end, let's go to the result, and they freak out. It's very common pairing. I just saw a comment that Mandy, she says, I don't do well with sexuals. And because you're a sensual. So you need slow, you need time. You don't want to know that the sex is happening. You want it to just evolve and happen, right? But here's the thing, Mandy, you're going to attract sexuals because our nervous systems naturally want to expand toward massive openness. So we are going to attract a person on the other side who is the opposite of us, so that we can grow, right? It's wild, and it sucks because it's like, oh my God, human learning that I need to figure out, and it's going to trigger our stuff. And awesome, that's the game. That's the dance, right? And then there's a shapeshifter. So shapeshifters, I'm bridging into shapeshifter right now. I've got a lot of clients that are bridging into shapeshifter right now. A shapeshifter, as my mentor, or as Jaya says, she says that all shapeshifters are like the Stradivarius of the orchestra. They are the sexual masters in that they are like, they want everything. They want the energetic touch, the sensual touch, the kinky, the sexual, often all at once. They're going to change their mind all the time. They're going to keep you on your toes. They're going to want more, right? Shapeshifters tend to move toward open relating. A lot of that, they want it all. And that's their nervous system. And it's awesome because a nervous system that wants that much pleasure, think about it. A nervous system that can hold and celebrate that much pleasure can do that not only in the bedroom, but in life. Can bring that to life, can say that no matter what shows up in front of them in their life, they are going to find pleasure in it, right? No matter what shows up, they're going to be like, yeah, I can turn that into pleasure, totally. Because their nervous system is that expanded that it's ready. That's a shapeshifter. Yeah, Sandra. The shadow of the shapeshifter is getting stuck in feeling like they're too much because they want it all. I don't know how many of you guys, you can type in here, and this is where I'm expanding into right now. Like, I really want it all. Like, and I can have it all, right? And my shadow of my shapeshifter will get stuck in like, is that really okay to have like all of this pleasure all the time and live in that? Like, yeah. Because your nervous system gets to be so open and expanded and lead the way for other people to find their pleasure revolution and find their pleasure reclamation, right? And it's edgy because it's 180 degrees against the thinking of the world and the conditioning of the world, right? So if anything, for Shapeshifter, I want to give you permission. The way that you get there, Amanda, you just said, I want to be there. The way that you get there is to feed fully your own blueprint so that you're so satisfied in your own blueprint. And then naturally your nervous system will start to expand into other ones. You'll find yourself, like, you're a sensual, so you'll find yourself starting to want to edge toward, being a little more energetic or being a little more kinky. And then you'll start feeling those. And then you'll start feeling the sexual. And then all of them will become a turn on. And you'll heal all the shadows. And then boom, you're in the shapeshifter. And you're in a place of constant pleasure and turn on. And it brings such confidence because I know that as a, budding shapeshifter, I know that no matter who I meet, sex isn't going to be the thing. It's not going to be the issue. That whatever they're turned on by, it's not through compromise. I'm going to find a place in my body that gets just as turned on by that, if not more. And I'm going to want it, and then I'm going to want everyone else and everything else too. So it becomes about love and connection, you see, which is where, wrapping around to the beginning of the conversation, sex it's such a thing. We put so much pressure on it and like, oh my God, am I going to have chemistry? And oh my God, is this going to be okay? That we lose the purpose in the first place, which is to remind each other of who we are, to bring it back to love. Once sex falls away, once it's no longer an issue, right? I don't have thoughts anymore of like, oh my God, what's the sex going to be like? And ew, he's doing this, and I don't want him to do that. Like, I'm just in it. I'm in my body, I'm enjoying, I'm in deep pleasure all the time, not just in sex, but in life, right? Then I get to be in enjoyment and show up and connect. And I'm finding this with my clients. One of my aims with clients is to expand all of them into Shapeshifter, right? Because if that happens, like, the pleasure revolution on the planet is going to be sick. All right, so I've got people asking questions, and I want to answer your questions. So let me scroll up and see what we said. If you're married and both of you take the test, yeah, do that. And then post it. Let us know. Post on this thread. Like, give us a little screenshot. I promise I'll put the test link in just a sec when we're done. Yeah, another sensual. Beautiful. Tracy, you're pretty much a shapeshifter, love. And your comment before, you're open relating, that makes sense, right? Like, shapeshifters, that's what makes sense, right? Our nervous system kind of needs that to a certain extent. You can do it without it, but often only if you're with another shapeshifter. Caroline, can expansion of my capacity for pleasure and my nervous system hit a layer of anger all of a sudden? Yeah, totally. So here's what's going to happen, Caroline. As you start to expand your pleasure, you're going to hit everything that's not you. So you're going to hit shame, you're going to hit grief, you're going to hit rage, you're going to hit everything that's not only not you, but not like, it's going to be like everything on the planet that is resisting your expansion to pleasure, you will feel. It's pretty awesome. And that's why, in my self-pleasure practice in sex, sometimes it's just pleasure the whole time, right? But oftentimes it's like, I got to like scream for an hour. I got to like bang on a pillow. I got to cry. And I'm not creating story. I don't really know what it is. It's probably just well, my interpretation of it is it's everything that's not my essence of my divine being, right? Everything that's not the true channel for you, Caroline. Anger is not truth. So that's got to come up to be cleared away. And the more you can express these emotions and honor and love and accept them. So as they come up in my body, I go, oh, anger's here. Awesome. And I just let it have its party. Sadness is here. Awesome. And I let it have its party. The more you can do that, right, the more that your orgasm and your pleasure will evolve into one of like mass expansion, because you'll be able to hold everything. And you'll start to really feel confident in your ability to be with yourself, which I think a lot of people miss in sexuality. We're looking outward, like, oh, he's got to take care of me, or she's got to take care of me. And instead I want to flip it to, I can take my own anger, I can take it and transmute it into pleasure, right? I can feel it fully and actually make that pleasurable because of how deeply I'm feeling it. And then you'll get to a place where you're laughing and everything's funny. Can you talk about why sexuality has been repressed in our conditioning and the link between it and our power? Yeah, Stacy. So I don't know why. I don't think too much about it. My experience is that sexuality is the most powerful force on the planet. By far. It has healed every trauma that I've had. It has healed chronic illness in my body. It has, the most powerful force. And the reason that we're so repressed and conditioned against it is because of how powerful it is. Because it will literally, if we all, and this is why I'm here, right? Just so you know, this is why Genevieve is incarnated, fully stepping into this mission. If we all come to a place where we can fully express our sexuality, where we can play full out in our erotic freedom, the planet will not be able to function in the same way that it's been functioning for thousands of years. And that is scary, right? That is scary for people. I think patriarchy has a lot to do with it. I think patriarchy is simply a response to recognizing how powerful the feminine is in her erotic energy, right? That she is life itself. And we immediately need to shut that down, right? Because it's scary. So it's fear, right? The beautiful thing that happens, though, is we don't have to do anything about that. We don't have to fight that. All we need to do is wake ourselves up. All we need to do is find our own freedom, allow the fear to dissolve, and then vibrationally, it's going to just ping pong, right? And it will dissolve. We don't have to fight. There's nothing to do. It's just being, awakening. Everything that's, no. Yeah. Okay. I freaking knew it yet. Holy shit. Great. Feminine has been controlled and put in a cage by the patriarchy because it's so powerful. Yeah, Mandy, exactly. Where do I live? New York City. Come. We do events here from time to time. We're doing one, November is our next event. It's going to be great. Isis, yeah, beautiful. All right, guys. I've been on for a good bit, so I feel like unless anyone, I'm going to go for final questions now, so please let me know if you have any final questions. And I love waiting, because every time I wait, I get to be in a place of pleasure and just get to drop back into my feminine receiving pleasure. Pop quiz, which blueprint am I doing right now? What do you think this one is? It's essential. Cool. So any other questions? I'll wait a moment, see if anyone has questions. I'm going to move sensually and just let myself drop into that. I did not study orgasmic meditation and Nicole Daedone, but I love the work. It's gorgeous. I studied, I was a professional dominatrix in New York City. That was my first lesson, my first learning. on how to find power in my sexuality, how to reclaim my erotic energy, how to receive, how to bring voice to my desire. It was awesome. And then I did work with Anna Dea Judith, who wrote Wheels of Life, Eastern Body, Western Mind. If you don't know her, you should know her stuff. She's excellent. She works on the chakra healing and trauma healing. And I started to bridge that into my own private practice. I started with just hands-on sexual trauma healing through energy. Then I studied, God, I have to go through my list. I'm also trained in sexual shamanism, Hawaiian traditions, and then I met Jaya and learned the erotic blueprints, and that put a frame on the work that I've been doing for the past 15 years, and that's been beautiful. I'm super grateful that the universe, or that we created a reality where the two of us found each other and showed each other ourselves, which was awesome. Books that have changed me the most. That's a good question. I love Anna Dea's, this is years ago, but Eastern Body, Western Mind is fabulous. Conversations with God is beautiful. If you haven't read that before, I had a huge awakening, and then literally everything that I saw in my awakening was in that book. And I was like, oh. I recently read Tifti the Priestess. It's a wild ride. It's all about composing your reality, creating your reality. That's been really fun to play in. The book that changes me the most is often the one that I'm in right now. Whatever book I'm in right now. I remind myself often of myself through audio. I do a lot of audiobooks. I'm listening to the Joe Dispenza book. That's been fun. He's talking about everything I'm talking about. Same thing. But it's all remembering, right? Matt Cahn's Whatever Arises, love that. It's a great book. Jeff Foster, anything by Jeff Foster, the man is like, he's channeled. He gets it. The Deepest Acceptance. Yeah. Yeah, Pussy's a great one. Mama Gina's work is beautiful. She's also a channeler. Sexual shamanism, I worked with a man named Jonathan Matthews. Yeah, you guys keep doing book. This is fun. Do a bunch of book recommendations. But anything, I want you to recognize when you're reading a book, you're not gaining anything new. They're just reminding you of self, right? So every book that I've read is just a mirror reflection of like me. And so I don't want you to think that you need to seek resources or learn more things. It has nothing to do with learning, right? My training has nothing to do with my training. Your training has nothing. If you're a coach, it's nothing. It's not that, right? The reason that we do training, the reason that we hire coaches, the reason that we read books is just to remind ourselves of ourselves, right? And, be discerning in who can be a good mirror for you when you're hiring or when you're doing trainings, or be discerning and recognize whether or not that person is clear, right? And has cleared enough of their stuff that they recognize their own divinity so they can show you theirs. If that's not there, then it's going to be more of a projection dance, which is also fun, but probably not really what you're going for. Most likely that's not the reality that you want to compose. Yeah. All right, I gotta go because I gotta head over. I'm doing a trauma release in a few minutes on a little girl who was harassed on a subway train. And I found out about it. She's someone in my neighborhood. And so I'm going to go over to her house and do some trauma release on her because age doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. She's 45 as much as she's 6. So I'm going to go play with her. And just as I would play with any of you. It's pretty fun. I'm grateful to be able to show up in that way. Well, the universe created that for me, which is fun. All right, so I'm going to post the link to the quiz. You can take it. If you have any questions, you can comment. Please screenshot your results. I'd love to see who you guys are. Share this with friends if you feel like there's been things that have been resonating. I will be back on Friday at 3 for another live Q&A. And what else? I have one spot left for private coaching. And then after that, we start again. I'll have openings again in October. So if you are seriously interested in that, if you want to be reminded of yourself over and over again and find this freedom, this erotic energy, this ease, life's pretty delicious. If you want that for yourself, and it's, tricky to get out of your own way to do it, reach out. Serious inquiries only, please. And then we'll get that set up, and I'll post the link for that rather than DMing me because I'll miss messages. All right. I love you guys so much. Thanks for playing with me this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Big, big love. And remember, hope this reminded you of you a bit. That's my only goal. Ciao.